So my friend texted me and asked me if I wanted all of the macroalgae from their reef tank, and of course the answer was yes. I drove over to their house with some freshwater plants to trade, and I came back with a big bag of different colors and textures of macroalgae. Now I'm just going to pull them apart and see if I can identify them. The first one I'm not sure about, it's either a Graciliara or Halimenia. The next one is a Caulerpa certiloides, or the feather Caulerpa. This one gets nice and tall and grows very fast, so I'm really excited to use this one. The next one is Caulerpa prolifera, sometimes known as a seagrass Caulerpa. It's very prolific, hence its name. This one is a Cinea. I'm not sure what species, but it's called branching hex. This one is probably my favorite that I got. The next one I'm not sure about at all. I've never seen it before, but it may be a purple flame. This one is Caulerpa lentilifera, or grape Caulerpa. I was told that this one grows really fast, and I'm really pleased with the look of these. I think it's very fun and whimsical, so I can't wait to see this in my tank. This one I've also never seen before, but I think it's Halictylon, or red fern. There's another feather Caulerpa. My friend said this type is smaller, but I'll have to grow it out to be sure. The next one is Botryocladia occidentalis. It's a red grape. A lot of people refer to this as Caulerpa, but it is not. This is my 10-gallon saltwater aquarium. I don't keep any fish in this. It's just coral, macroalgae, and small invertebrates. I have snails, starfish, and some bristleworms. The reason I use macroalgae is because, for one, I think it looks nice, but it will also take up any nitrates and phosphates that are building up in the aquarium, making it a little more low maintenance for me. I'm using a bit of a freshwater aquascapers approach with this and putting some of the taller macroalgae in the back, like the feather Caulerpa and the Caulerpa prolifera. And then in the middle, I'm going in with the grape Caulerpa so that I can see it properly, just to fill in the middle gap between the rocks. I'm putting the comparatively smaller pieces of red macroalgae in the front of the aquarium so that there is a little bit more focus on them, and also just so I can keep a good eye on them and make sure they are doing well. You may have noticed that some of the red pieces of macroalgae were not in the best health, and so this will give me a better idea of how they're doing as they settle in. These pieces are bringing a little more interest to the front of the aquarium, which I see more often than any other spot. The overall plan is to have the big green macroalgae growing rampant in the back of the aquarium, coming across the top, and then having some smaller, more interesting pieces going across the front of the aquarium. As I finish up planting, I'm going to perform a little bit of maintenance on the aquarium. I typically just wipe off the glass, I do top offs, and I also scrub down a little bit because of course salt creep is a thing, especially with a rimless aquarium. I usually have to stay on top of cleaning up the sides of the aquarium as well as the stand and the tank next to it. After I do my daily top offs, I usually dose something about once a week. I like to use this Tropic Marine All for Reef. I find that it helps my corals, keeps the pH up a little bit, and also helps kind of buffer the calcium and magnesium levels in the tank. I'm really happy with the finished product. After I added all of the macroalgae, I think it adds more color, more texture, and overall just makes the tank look more full of life. These last few clips are a week after the macroalgae have already settled into the tank. I've already noticed them growing, and I think the tank overall just looks pretty messy and natural, which is how I like my aquariums. I try not to take things too seriously and just have fun with it, and I think that's exactly what this tank gives me.